Before anyone gets upset, this presentation is not to criticise the doctors, nurses and staff at our hospitals. The NHS in the UK was created to provide a free health service to everyone in the country. It was created just after the Second World War, when the population was considerably less, and life expectancy was also less than today. The taxpayers who fund the existence of the NHS were higher as a percentage than today. Now, as the baby boomers are reaching retirement age, the NHS will become more and more stretched. The NHS has become a political football for as long as I can remember. Saving the NHS has become a religion, and worse, the NHS has become a propaganda tool in the fake figures the population is fed daily on our mainstream news. Before COVID-19, the NHS was terminally ill. I suggest what was needed was a complete rethink about how we as a nation regard our health and how health is provided. Around the world, there's undeniable evidence that hospitals are almost empty and much needed surgeries have been cancelled because of the wrongly expected deluge of COVID-19 patients that was never going to come. Even with my limited research, I was saying that back in March 2020. I played this clip before, and there have been plenty similar, but they tend to get taken down by YouTube and Facebook Stasi Gestapo in minutes. So you have to grab them and download them for your PC fast before they disappear. I think this short clip is great for what I want to say about the NHS being abused.
I don't know about you. Wherever I go, everyone seems fine. Lucy, you got coronavirus? I don't know. I don't care. I ain't scared. But they put on the mainstream media, hospitals are war zones. But when you look on the internet, hashtag film your hospital, there's been hundreds of people now, they all go to hospitals, they're empty.
Hang on, here we are, OU emergency, mobile ER, look at this, tons of tents lining the walkway, but how many people do you all see, seriously?
Zero. There's someone in, okay. Two people in that first tent, but no one in the others.
But they look like they were just workers waiting.
Yeah.
In fact, all I've seen of a lot of medical people lately is them all on the internet doing little dances for TikTok and stuff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy. All this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy.
So I don't know about you, but if I was in a war zone and everyone's dying, it's just blood and mayhem and mucus and people are turning blue and I'm trying to resuscitate them all day. I don't know about you, but after 12 hours of doing that, I doubt I'd look all fresh and go outside and work with my cohorts on a synchronized dance step for TikTok.
Doctors and nurses live in fear of losing their jobs if they speak out about hospitals being so quiet. One of the most sickening things I have witnessed is the media promoting standing outside houses clapping the heroes of the NHS. A close second to the sickening fake clapping was the rainbows appearing everywhere with "Stay safe" and "Thank you NHS" and key workers. I'm enraged every time I see one. I know it must do damage to the genuine NHS staff to know they're being clapped and thanked when nothing's happening. I will repeat, this is not an attack on the NHS staff. When the news of the potential deadly virus first hit, you must have been terrified to walk into work not knowing what was coming. You didn't know it was no worse than the flu. You didn't know what was coming, did you? And the cases of cytokine storms, patients fighting for breath, must have been very difficult to deal with. Again, with my very limited research, it was easy to find these reactions were mostly linked. I discovered this, that these were people that had the H1N1 flu vaccine. Again, anyone with internet and a laptop could have seen that hydroxychloroquine accepted for over 60 years is a safe over-the-counter treatment, and you might have even found Dr. Richard Bartlett in Texas speaking about his successful treatment using budesonide. You can see the evidence of this on the video. The cure is here on this series. So I'll put it to you that the media narrative, Save Our NHS, was nothing short of manipulative lies. The only danger to the NHS was its failing structure and business model before COVID-19, and it still needs saving via a complete rethink. In fact, it is more in danger now than ever because the cabal are busy destroying the economy from which the NHS depends for its funding. The NHS has been hijacked and blatantly used for fake propaganda, and the credibility of the staff mercilessly put at risk for the cabal's agenda. So to the NHS staff I say I'm sorry that the cabal has used you. If you want me to call you a hero and you want me to clap, start making videos whistleblowing for the truth.
Right, I wasn't planning to make a video this evening, but I've seen something on Facebook this evening that I thought, no, I'm not just going to post it on my timeline just to get ignored, because this is too important. This is something that everyone has to listen to and has to know what is really going on. So, this is a post this evening, and it's from an A&E consultant in Surrey. So he says, I am a consultant at a major regional hospital in Surrey. By major, you can take that to indicate that we have an A&E department. I had agreed to give an interview to an anti-lockdown activist in which I would have revealed my identity. I have since changed my mind and only feel able to give an anonymous statement. I have changed my mind simply because that all staff, no matter what grade, at all hospitals, have been warned that if they give any media interviews at all or make any statements to either the mainstream press or smaller independent press, social media, we may immediately be suspended without pay. I have a family, dependents, and I simply can't do it to them. I therefore cannot reveal my identity at this time, but wish to state as follows. In my opinion, and that of many of my colleagues, there has been no COVID pandemic. Certainly not in the Surrey region, and I've heard from other colleagues this picture is the same throughout the country. Our hospital would normally expect to see around 350,000 outpatients a year. Around 95,000 patients are admitted to hospital in a normal year, and we would expect to see around a similar figure, perhaps 100,000 patients pass through our A&E department. In the months from March to June inclusive, we would normally expect to see 100,000 outpatients, around 30,000 patients admitted to hospital, and perhaps 30,000 pass through A&E. This year, and these figures are almost impossible to get hold of, we are over 95% down on all of those numbers. In effect, the hospital has been pretty much empty for that entire period. At the start, staff that questioned this were told that we were being used as a redundant capacity, kept back for the deluge we were told would come. It never did come. And when staff began to question this, comments like, for the greater good and to protect the NHS came down from above. Now it's just along the lines of, shut up or you don't get paid. The few COVID cases that we have had get repeatedly tested, and every single test counted as a new case, meaning the figures reported back to ONS, PHE, Office for National Statistics and Public Health England, were almost exponentially inflated. It could be that COVID cases reported by hospitals are between 5 to 10 times higher than the real number of cases. There has been no pandemic, and this goes a long way to explain why figures for the UK are so much higher than anywhere else in Europe. The Trust has been running empty ambulances during lockdown and is still doing it now. By this I mean ambulances are driving around with their emergency alert systems active, sirens and or lights, with no job to go to. This, I believe, has been to give the impression to the public that there is more demand for ambulances than there actually is. Staff only wear face coverings, masks and social distance when public facing. As soon as they are out of public view, the masks come off and social distancing is not observed. Indeed, jokes are made about the measures, and I have heard staff express amazement that despite warnings on packets and at point of sales telling people masks are totally ineffective and dangerous, the public still buy them because a politician has told them to. We have cancelled the vast majority of operations, and of these, all elective surgery has been cancelled. That surgery, there has been pre-planned waiting lists. Non-elective surgery, this tends to be emergency surgery or that which is deemed urgent, has been severely curtailed. The outcome of this is simple. People are at best being denied basic medical care and at worst being left to die, in some cases in much distress and pain. Regarding death certification, all staff that are responsible for this have been encouraged, where possible, to put COVID-19 complications as reason for death, even though the patient may have been asymptomatic and also not even tested for COVID. I feel this simply amounts to fraudulently completed death certificates and has been responsible to grossly inflating the number of COVID deaths. The fact is that regardless of what you actually die of in hospital, it is likely that COVID-19 will feature on your death certificate. I have included with my statement the detailed published guidance from government on death certification, which shows how COVID-19 as a factor is encouraged to at least feature on a death certificate. Remember, COVID-19 itself cannot kill. What kills is complications from the virus, typically pneumonia-like symptoms. These complications are in reality incredibly rare, but have featured and a large amount of death certificates issued in recent months. As long as COVID-19 appears on a death certificate, that death is counted as COVID-19 in the figures released by the ONS and PHE. I genuinely believe that many death certificates, especially amongst the older 65 plus demographic, have been fraudulently completed so as to be counted as COVID-19 deaths, when in reality COVID-19 complications did not cause the death. There have been Thursday nights when I stood alone in my office and cried as I heard people cheering and clapping outside. It sickens me to see all the thank you NHS signs up everywhere, and the stolen rainbow that for me now says one word and one word only: fear. There are many good people in the NHS, and whilst I do not plead for forgiveness for myself, I do plead for them. Most are on low pay. They joined for the right reasons, and I did and have been bullied and threatened that if they don't stay on message, they don't eat. I know that if a way could be found to assure staff within the NHS of safety against reprisals, there would be a tsunami of whistleblowers, which I have no doubt would help end this complete and brutal insanity. I'm finding it increasingly hard to live with what I have been involved in, and I'm sorry this has happened. To end, I would simply say this: politicians haven't changed. The country has just made a fatal mistake and started trusting them without question. If that doesn't wake any of you up, I don't know what will. It's not very often that I'm lost for words when people don't know me. No, that's true. But there you go. From the horse's mouth. And why there aren't whistleblowers from the NHS is because they're being threatened. They know they need to earn a living. They've got families to look after. But they've been gagged and threatened. Now you need to ask yourself, why are they doing this? And not only in this country, but they're doing this worldwide. Wake up, people. Stop believing the propaganda. The masks don't work. If anything, they compromise your immune system. They make you ill. And I've seen it. I've seen elderly people walking around town, barely able to walk with walking sticks and whatever because they've got other health issues and everything. And they've got these masks on. It will kill them. It will make any immunity that they've got left in them completely go, finish, end. And once your immune system's down, that's it. They want us all to face the flipping Grim Reaper. Do you not understand this? This doctor is saying there is no COVID-19. The reality of what's happening in the hospitals, he's just said it. It doesn't match what the government is telling you. It doesn't match what the mainstream media is telling you. This is coming from someone from ground zero. Doctors and nurses, when they're facing the public, they've got their masks on. They do the social distancing things. And then the minute the public's no longer there, they take their masks off, they don't social distance anymore, and they flip and take the mick out of the public, saying, oh, you know, it's got it on the packet there saying that, you know, it doesn't protect you, but still they buy the masks, still wear them, because politicians have told them to. Haven't we always said politicians are not to be trusted? How many members of the public have always said, oh, you can't trust a politician, they're all liars and backstabbers and all this and that and the other. And now, you're actually trusting what they're telling you. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, can we go out of our houses now? Oh, can we meet up with family? Oh, look, there's a group of people there. We better kind of blow the whistle on them because they're putting us in danger. Because all these people getting together for picnics and all these people going to the Bournemouth and to the seaside and everything like that, they're putting our life in danger. They're putting our health at risk. No, they're bloody well not. Your government is doing it. Your media, your mainstream media is doing it. So don't say that we that are trying to live a proper life by going around our lives and getting together and hugging our family and being with them and trying to have some semblance of a real life, we're the ones that are putting you in danger. We're not putting you in danger. You've got your government to blame for that, and you've got your mainstream media to blame for that, and you've got yourselves to blame for it because you've swallowed everything they've told you hook, line and sinker. You need to wake up now because this is serious shit. You try and say it nicely. You try and kind of put the resources and the proof in front of people's eyes by posting posts on Facebook and pointing them in the right direction so that they can do their own research and everything. And it gets ignored, or it gets taken the mick out of. Now when I see something like this, I saw this evening. Oh, I was in the middle of just kind of having a nice relaxed evening, having a cup of tea and everything. Came across this post and I thought, oh my God. People have got to see this, and people, maybe, surely they'll wake up about this. They'll actually see and think, my goodness, we've been brainwashed and we have to kind of really push against the system now. We do. We need to push against the system. We need to push back now. We need to say, enough's enough now. We've seen through your lies. We're not social distancing anymore. We're not queuing up when we're going to shops and everything like that. We're taking off these bloody masks that are killing us. We're sending our children to school without any social distancing or any of that crap. And if the social distancing and all that rubbish is still put in place in the schools, I would say keep your children at home. Homeschool. Do like a little cooperative amongst mothers that you can take them in turns in little groups, and so that they do some homeschooling. Because I understand that, we still have to earn a living and you have to go out to work and everything. So maybe it's not always possible to be able to kind of homeschool them. But start up some kind of a cooperative of mothers where you can have them in a safe place and you can babysit each other as children and do a little bit of homeschooling like that. We have to start fighting against the system, because the system wants us dead. And I'm not exaggerating. You've seen it. I've read it to you. And it's coming from someone from the inside, the NHS. What else do you want? They want us dead. The agenda is a big agenda. Eugenics. Population, depopulation. And I'm not the crazy one. So, I'd appreciate it if in the comments, if you could tell me if this has made any difference to your view of the whole thing. Because if it hasn't, then I'm afraid there's no hope for you, and you are part of the problem, because you're keeping us in this hellhole. And this is nothing yet. There's more to come yet. There is. They've got lovely things planned for us. So I hope that I'll get loads of comments saying, yes, this has opened my eyes. I've got to find out what's going on here. I didn't realise that, this was happening. But obviously, lots of us don't realise that this is happening. But some of us are a few steps ahead and do know that these are the kind of things that are happening. But the vast majority of the public don't know. So it takes someone to anonymously write this from the NHS to try and warn the public. Don't let this person's account go to waste. Don't let this person who's risked himself, albeit anonymously, to try and alert the public. Don't let this be something in vain. Because it took a lot of courage for this person to write this. Don't discard it as being just conspiracy. Because it's not conspiracy. Right, I'm going to try and calm down now. But I'm doing it so that I can be part of, in my small way, of waking people up. Goodbye.
The time is coming very soon when you can't stand out. You can stand out in daylight soon and just tell us this. But just remember, when the truth comes out, saying, well, I was only following orders. That was the excuse used in the gas chambers of Auschwitz. I'm saying time's running out for you to pick a side. Save your credibility. Find a way to protect and hide your identity. Make a video clip and post it on Facebook. Get it sent around on messenger platforms so people can download and save it. At least what will happen is when people say, hey, you were a nurse or doctor in such and such a hospital where my mum was supposed to have her cancer operation and now she's dead. How come you never spoke up? And you can say, 2020, I made a video with my face blurred out, but I made it. Now my conscience is clear. I'll see you on the next video.